Good evening, everyone, and welcome to our showing of 42, the first film in our latest miniseries, The Sporting Life, written and directed by Brian Helgeland with Chadwick Boseman and Harrison Ford. This film is a biopic which chronicles the life of Jackie Robinson, the first African-American athlete to play in Major League Baseball in the 20th century. The very first African-American Major League player was Moses Fleetwood Walker, who played for the Toledo Blue Stockings in 1884. It took several years for a movie about Robinson's life to be made. In 1995, Spike Lee was interested in doing a film on Robinson with Denzel Washington as the lead, but by 1997, the project crumbled over creative differences. In 2004, Robert Redford tried to put together another version in which he himself would play Branch Rickey, but this version also failed. Finally, in 2011, Legacy Pictures developed the version we will see this evening, with the cooperation of Robinson's widow, Rachel. The film opened to positive reviews, particularly for the work of Boseman and Ford. It grossed $97.5 million on a budget of under $40 million. 42 broke the record for highest grossing baseball movie during opening weekend. Rotten Tomatoes website called it an earnest, inspirational, and respectfully told biography of an influential American sports icon. The Hollywood Reporter said that Boseman has the necessary appeal, proves convincing as an athlete, and is expressive. 42 does not cover Robinson's career in the Negro Leagues, but it's important to note that the achievements of many African-American players who played Negro League baseball, which flourished from the 1930s to the 1950s, were not fully recognized by the National Baseball Hall of Fame until just recently. 42 was shot on location at several sites in Birmingham, Alabama, Chattanooga, Tennessee, Macon, and Atlanta, Georgia. Some interior shots were filmed at the Atlanta Film Studios, Paulding County, near Atlanta, and the stadium interiors were filmed in Engle Stadium in Birmingham, which also served as the venue for game action scenes set in Forbes Field and Roosevelt Stadium. Birmingham's Rickwood Field doubled for FDR Stadium in Jersey City, New Jersey, and Forbes Field in Pittsburgh, appearing as itself in a scene depicting Robinson playing for the Kansas City Monarchs in 1945. Using old pictures, stadium blueprints, and digital imagery, the crew built replicas of Ebbets Field, the Polo Grounds, Crosley Field, Sportsman's Park, and Forbes Field. Plot summary. By 1946, Jackie Robinson was becoming well known, playing for the Kansas City Monarchs in the Negro Leagues. Branch Rickey was an executive with the Dodgers who recruited Robinson to play for his team, thereby breaking the color barrier in the major leagues. Thus, in 1947, Robinson became the first African-American to play in Major League Baseball in the modern era, facing considerable racism in the process. Robinson and his family endured unrelenting hostility both on and off the field from both fans and fellow players. He struggled to keep his temper under control, enduring the abuse without complaint. When the 1947 season ended, his contributions to the team had led them to a pennant and to the chance to play in the World Series. The movie ends with a series of texts which tell the audience what happened to the various people depicted on screen. Fun facts about the film. Robinson is shown proposing to his wife in 1947 after he signed his contract with the Dodgers. In real life, they became engaged in 1943 while Robinson was still in the U.S. Army. Spring training camp in 1947 actually took place in Havana, Cuba, not Panama City. The suspension of Leo Durocher was the result of his association with some known gamblers, not his relationship with the actress Lorraine Day. In the film, Wendell Smith, the African-American sports reporter, is said to be the first black journalist admitted to the BBWAA, the Baseball Writers Association of America. That honor actually went to Sam Lacey, who joined in 1948. In 1947, Baseball Commissioner Bud Selig retired Robinson's number 42 universally. As of 2014, no player may wear it without a special request. Since 2004, April 15th is celebrated as Jackie Robinson Day, and all players wear the number 42 in his honor. April 15th is the anniversary of Robinson's first day playing for the Dodgers. Branch Rickey's great-granddaughter, Kelly Jakey, has a cameo as Rachel Robinson's babysitter. Pee Wee Reese's line that someday we'll all be wearing number 42 was actually said by Dodger player Gene Kosmansky in 1951. Helgeland had Reese say it instead because he's a more central character. The line, "No, I want a player who's got the guts not to fight back," was actually said by Branch Rickey. According to Rickey's closest associates, he actually did blurt out Judas Priest, which was the closest he ever got to swearing. Bozeman did many of his stunts himself, preparing for his role, with several months of training and watching clips of Robinson in play. Alan Tudyk, who played the Philadelphia manager, said that he and Bozeman avoided fraternizing while they were filming their scenes together to better convey the animosity between their two characters. Tudyk would get into character by watching clips of street fighting. Branch Rickey mentions that he wished that Robinson was not leading the league in hits by pitch. Robinson actually finished the 1947 season with the record for the largest number of times a player was beamed by a pitcher. He was hit in the head 9 times. The movie sanitizes Leo Durocher's speech to the Dodgers when they try to strike against playing alongside Robinson. His actual quote was, "I don't care if the guy is yellow or black, or if he has stripes like a effing zebra. I am the manager of this team. He plays." In the movie, the punishment for being unwilling to play alongside Robinson was to be traded to Pittsburgh. Bobby Bragan, who said he wanted to be traded and later changed his mind, ended up managing the Pirates in 1956. Branch Rickey himself left the Dodgers in '58 to become the Pirates' general manager. When calling the catch of a fly ball in the movie, Red Barber says, "Back, back, back." In another play-by-play call, he says, "Oh, doctor." Barber actually used these lines only once, when he called Al Girafredo's game-saving catch off Joe DiMaggio in the 1947 World Series. Robinson did not get a single hit in his first game, but he did score. He got on base due to a throwing error by Bob Elliott, third baseman for the Boston team. Robinson scored later when Pete Rozier hit a double. The last scene in the movie takes place in Forbes Field in Pittsburgh. As Robinson rounds the bases for his home run, one shot includes the Cathedral of Learning, a famous building at the University of Pittsburgh. In real life, Forbes Field was right next door to the university. It was taken down when the Pirates moved to Three Rivers Stadium in 1970, but the university kept its home plate in the exact same location, encased in the ground in the same place as shown in the movie, in William Posvar Hall at the University of Pittsburgh. Harrison Ford had to play Branch Rickey in extensive prosthetics and with an altered voice so the audience wouldn't recognize him. Things to look for. Look for Kelly Jakey's cameo as Rachel Robinson's babysitter. Pee Wee Reese's line about all the players someday wearing number 42. Listen for Rickey's line about his search for a player who would have the guts to remain silent in the face of abuse, and for his outburst, Judas Priest. Rickey's reference to Robinson's record for largest number of hits to the head by opposing pitchers. Leo Durocher's tirade to his team when they prepare to strike against playing with Robinson, threatening to trade them to Pittsburgh. Red Barber calling the fly ball catch, calling out, back, 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 and oh, doctor. The location shots in assorted baseball fields, references to the Kansas City Monarchs in the early scenes of the film. The fleeting shot of the University of Pittsburgh's Cathedral of Learning in the background as Robinson rounds the bases near the end of the movie. Now it's time to view 42. Sit back, settle down. Please remember that it may take a few minutes for the film to roll. Enjoy.